The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. There's Anton and Kylan and Deviani and Cyrus. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Good job, boys and girls. We're going to start today with a rhyme that we have done before. This is not a new rhyme for us, so you might start to remember it after you hear it a little bit. Okay, it's called High in the Tree. And I'm going to make my hand into my tree. Okay, and on our tree, we are growing peaches. We're going to grow fuzzy peaches on our tree. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fuzzy peaches. Okay, are you ready? 5 fuzzy peaches hanging on a tree. Let's pick some for you and pick some for me. Along came Ellie. She was up to no good. She shook that tree as hard as she could and ate 1, 2 peaches. Good. How many peaches do I have left? Ellie ate 1, 2. So we have 1, 2, 3 peaches left. 5 minus 2 is 3. You ready? Let's do it again. Make that tree. All right. 5 fuzzy peaches hanging on a tree. Let's pick a few for you and pick a few for me. Along came Junior. He was up to no good. He shook that tree as hard as he could and ate 1 peach. So I took 1 away. How many peaches are left in that peach tree? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 minus 1 is 4. Good job. All right, let's do it again. 5 fuzzy peaches hanging on a tree. Let's pick a few for you and pick a few for me. Along came Nara. She was up to no good. She shook that tree as hard as she could and ate 1, 2, 3, 4 peaches. How many peaches are left in my tree? Just 1. 5 take away 4 is 1. Good job. We're going to do it one more time, okay? And if I don't do your name today, your name might get done tomorrow, okay? All right, ready? 5 fuzzy peaches hanging on a tree. Let's pick a few for you and let's pick a few for me. Along came Royalty. She was up to no good. She shook that tree as hard as she could and ate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 peaches. How many peaches are left in our tree? 0. 0. That's right. We have 0 peaches left in our tree because 5 take away 5 is 0. Good job, boys and girls. Good counting with me today. All right, yesterday we looked at a new family of instruments. It had a guitar in it, it had a violin in it, it had a cello in it. What was that family called? The string family, because all the instruments you played by using your strings with a bow or plucking them with your fingers. That's right, those were the string instruments, and those strings move really fast and it makes a noise. Today we are going to look at another type of instrument called the wind instrument or the woodwind family. Okay, our wind instruments, they make noise by the person who's playing it blowing air with their mouth. Have you ever heard somebody whistle before? Like this? Yeah, I can make that noise by making my lips nice and tight together, and I make air go through my lips. And it makes a whistling sound. And woodwind instruments kind of work like that, by somebody pushing air across the top of the instrument, and then the air travels inside the instrument to make the noise. Okay, let's look at a few woodwind instruments. See if you know the names of these instruments. Do you know the name of this instrument? It's silver, it has a lot of keys. It's called a flute. How about this one? It's another woodwind instrument, but it looks a little different. This one's called a clarinet. And the last one we're going to look at today, what do you think this one might be called? This one is a saxophone. Good job. Did you know some of those? Some of them were tricky, weren't they? They might have been instruments you've never heard of before. So that was good new learning today. All right, we are going to see if we can make our own woodwind instrument today. So if you have a bottle at your house, any kind of bottle, mine is a plastic bottle, but you could do it with a glass bottle if you were very, very careful. But I'm going to use a plastic water bottle, and I've already drank some of the water in here. So some of my water's already gone. And I'm going to take the lid off, and I'm going to blow air over the opening of my water bottle. See if you can listen to this sound. Do you hear that sound that my instrument is making when I blow air across it? Yeah, I just made a woodwind instrument by blowing air across the top of my water bottle. I could change the sound in my water bottle. I could pour some, I'm gonna open my lid over here. I could pour some of my water out. So now I have less water. And let's see if the sound in my woodwind instrument is different with less water. That changed the sound, didn't it? My sound got lower when I had less water. Just like musicians, when they're playing those woodwind instruments that we looked at, they can change the sound by opening and closing the keys on their instruments. That's right. All right, boys and girls. Well, I am so glad that you learned about woodwind instruments today. And we're going to do one more thing today, and that is an art project. And that is what your homework is today. It's an art project that practices our letters. So I'm going to get some of my supplies to be able to do our art project, and I'll be right back. All right. Your homework today is that you get to paint with Q-tips if you have them around your house. If you do not have them around your house, then you do not need to go to the store to get Q-tips. You could paint with a paintbrush. You could even do the activity we're doing with your finger, and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, with your finger, you don't have to go buy Q-tips, but if you have Q-tips, it's kind of a fun way to paint. So I'm going to show you a picture first of what your activity is. Okay, look over here. You are going to have a grown-up write your name for you, or you could write your name with a marker or a pencil on a piece of paper. Then you're going to take your Q-tips and you're going to dip them in some paint. And see how on the picture they just put little dots of paint on all the lines of the letters? That's what you're going to do today. Now, I did not have any paint at my house, but I do have a chalkboard. So I'm going to do the same activity with a chalkboard, and that's okay. If you can't do the homework exactly how I wrote it because you don't have some of those supplies at your house, that is okay. You can do the homework however works for you. So I'm going to do the homework today with my chalkboard, and I'm going to paint with water. So I already wrote Zariah's name and Carter's name on my board. And I used a capital Z for Zariah and a capital K for Carter. And then the rest of my letters are all lowercase. Okay? All right, so I'm going to paint with water. If you're painting with paint, then you can dip your Q-tip in paint. I'm painting with water. So I'm going to dot all along the letters that I wrote up on my board. And I'm not sure, let's see if you can see it while I'm working on it. Let's see if we can get closer so you can see my paint. It's dripping down my board, isn't it? And I'm just gonna keep on going. I'm gonna keep following that whole letter. And when I get all done painting my Z, I can paint my A, and then I'll go down to Carter and I'll do his letters. Okay, so that's gonna help you to practice your name and learning your letters. You could do it with different letters too. If you don't want to do the letters in your name today, you could do different letters, but I want you to make sure that you are practicing making your letters. And grown-ups, it's okay to have them practice just writing their name with markers or writing their name with crayons, but sometimes it is more fun to do it a different way and to not always just get out your paper and your pencil and your crayons and your markers and write your name over and over. So painting and Q-tip painting is another fun way to do it. Play-Doh is a fun way to write our name instead, but just trying different ways to write names. And the more you can make it sensory, the more they can use their hands to do it, the more it'll help them get those letters and what they look like in their brain. Kids are very sensory and very tactile. So trying to write names different ways, trying to paint names different ways, all of that is going to help your child to get better at writing their name rather than just always doing pencil and paper, because they're going to have lots and lots of time to do just pencil and paper when they get into kindergarten. All right, boys and girls, I hope you have a super day practicing your name and playing woodwind instruments, making woodwind instruments, and I'll see you tomorrow. If you get to go out and enjoy the snow, I hope you have fun and you stay super warm. Bye, boys and girls.